Good afternoon and welcome back to TMNtv News. I am Kerrigan Hutton and the date is October 16th, 2023. First, we will start out with some international news and then move on to some on-campus news. As we reported last week, an attack on Israel by the Hamas militant group on October 7th killed over 1,000 people. Since then, retaliation from the Israel military has left over 2,000 Palestinians dead and approximately 10,000 injured. The Israeli counterattack came in the form of airstrikes after they ordered 1 million Gaza residents to leave their homes. Here is more on the situation from Fox News DC's Sunday morning broadcast.
Now this Sunday morning to the war raging in the Middle East.
The war is now entering its 9th day as Israel vows to ramp up attacks against Hamas. Right now, soldiers are positioning themselves along the border for what appears to be an imminent invasion.
We're going to bring you a live look this morning at the Gaza Strip right now, where thousands have been ordered to evacuate to the north overnight. Airstrikes pounded the city overnight. This morning, medics in Gaza are warning thousands could die as basic supplies have been dwindling.
Earlier this week, Israel blocked off food, fuel, water, and electricity from getting into the Strip as it heightened its offensive. The Israeli military doubling down on its warnings for Gaza residents to get out, despite Hamas urging people to stay in their homes.
Bombing is everywhere from north to shore to south. My kids are feeling so scared.
This, of course, comes after Gaza's terrorist attack on Israel last week. Right now, a second U.S. carrier strike is headed to the region. The USS Eisenhower aircraft carrier departed Norfolk, Virginia yesterday with 5,000 sailors on board.
Our deployment will undoubtedly strengthen relationships with our allies and partners, and we share the goal to deter aggression and, if required, deliver overwhelming combat power.
Since last Saturday's surprise attack by Hamas, the death toll has risen to more than 3,000. The State Department says at least 29 Americans are among the dead.
According to NPR, the United Nations has said the evacuation of Gaza residents is impossible to do without devastating humanitarian consequences. After just 10 days, it is now the deadliest war for either side in recent years. Last Wednesday, North Carolina enacted a sweeping new restricted law after GOP majority legislator overrode Democratic Governor Roy Cooper's veto of the bill. The bill itself has a lot of controversial rulings, such as opposing new voter ID requirements for save-date registrants. This means that it will be harder to cast ballots in the early voting period. And this also means scrapping the 3-day grace period for receiving absentee ballots after Election Day, banning private money for election administration, and giving partisan poll observers the power to watch the voting process. With North Carolina being an important swing state, this could have big repercussions in the upcoming election. Governor Cooper said of this legislation, this creates a grave risk that Republican legislators or courts could be empowered to change the results of an election if they don't like the winner. In response, the DNC and the state Democratic Party have filed a lawsuit against the bill, citing that the bill will undermine the people's right to vote. And in technology news, Meta has just unveiled their new celebrity AI chatbots, which have caused massive debate online. Celebrities like Tom Brady, Kendall Jenner, and Snoop Dogg all have their likenesses being used as characters users can interact with on Meta platforms. A lot of users who have tried the interface have said they can't tell if it's the actual person or AI. Other comments about the chatbots have also raised concerns about parasocial relationships and how this might affect teens with loneliness. Despite the backlash, however, Meta has announced that it has plans to make chatbots available for businesses and creators over time, as well as releasing its AI studio tool for people to create their own AI. Tisa Mason and U.S. Senator Jerry Moran announced awarding of $4 million to the Department of Nursing through federal grants. According to Mason, the department was allowed to expand after 93% of the students passed the NCLEX exam in 2022, and 100% of the doctor and nursing students passed the program. As a result, the Kansas Board of Nursing increased the department's quota from 65 students to 90. The money from the grants will be used to continue training students at the highest level possible, with a focus on having them return to Western Kansas, where healthcare is vital to rural communities. Senator Moran spoke about why this is important.
And the announcement that we make today, while it's good for Fort Hays and for students and the future, their futures, personal futures, The really exciting thing is it's good for the future of Western Kansas, because every community, when you look at the factors that determine whether or not a community has a future, one of the highest priorities that a community has to have is access to health care. It means we can keep families or bring families to our communities. It means that babies can be born in our home communities. And it means that our seniors, of which there are only a slight few in Western Kansas, they can remain in their hometowns.
More information from this story can be found on tigermedianet.com. Starting today, all K-12 students in the USD 489 will be eligible for free school breakfast. The USD 489 School Board approved this decision as last Monday's Board of Education meeting. During COVID, a grant from the Department of Agriculture funded school meals for all students. Once that program ended in fall of 2022, Nutrition Services Director Jessica Juncker said there was a decline in students eating breakfast at school. With breakfast once again being free for all students, Juncker hopes to see participation rise to what it was during COVID. For more information, visit tigermedianet.com. And in weather, I hope everyone stayed warm over the weekend. Thankfully, warmer days are ahead of this week. Today is the coldest day of the week with a high of 66 degrees and a low of 39 degrees. Tuesday and Friday have a tie for being the warmest day of the week with a forecasted high of 81 degrees. The rest of the week will see cloudy skies and the highs in the upper 70s. As always, to stay up to date with this forecast as it changes, visit kwch.com. And when we come back, Caden Sanders has sports.
We know you'll love what you see here on our campus in Hayes, America.
With over 200 academic programs, small classroom sizes, and a 96% success rate, we will make sure you get the tools you need to succeed.
We are proud to offer you 120 clubs and student organizations, over 300 different intramural activities, and countless other ways to get involved here on campus.
As the most affordable four-year institution in the entire state, we are excited to offer you the best value in education anywhere. Not to mention our robust scholarship programs to help minimize that stress of paying for college.
We hope you enjoyed Tiger Nation, and we can't wait for you to see yourself here.
Welcome back. I'm Caden Sanders, here to bring you your weekly sports update. The Fort Hays State football team came away with their fourth straight victory at Lewis Field Stadium this past weekend against longtime rival Nebraska Kearney. The Tigers won in dominant fashion, 31-17, on a cold and windy day. Shane Watts and company came out firing on all cylinders, earning 412 yards, while Watts had 162 through the ground, averaging 7.7 yards per carry. Defensively, the Tigers shut down the Lopers' run game, only giving up 72 yards through the ground and 165 total yards. The defense also provided needed support on third downs, only allowing Kearney to convert 2 out of the 13 times with 4 sacks. The Tigers moved to 5-2 and will compete against I-70 rival Washburn this Saturday. The volleyball team had a roller coaster of a week against premier opponents in the MIAA and 6th in the nation, Nebraska Kearney, Missouri Southern, and Missouri Central, who was 6-0 against MIAA opponents going into the weekend. The match versus Kearney, Fort Hays State lost in 3 straight sets, but in the match against the Lions, the Tigers fought to 5 sets, with the second one going to the Tigers 31-29. Fort Hays State lost the match 3-2, but the final game for Fort Hays State, the Tigers pulled away with a win against a top team in Central Missouri, winning 5 sets to one of the best in the MIAA. The Tigers will be at home tomorrow versus Emporia State, and then the Tigers will go on the road to Pitt State and 21st in the nation, Central Oklahoma. The Fort Hays State women's soccer team had a big road weekend in Oklahoma this past weekend, winning 2-0 against Northeastern State with goals from Sullivan Kelly in the 68th minute and 82nd minute from Allison Worley. Then picking up another win against Rogers State with a goal from Allison Worley in the 57th minute. The Tigers enter the week tied for first with Washburn at 19 points. The Tigers will play on the road again this weekend against Missouri Southern and 8th best in the nation in Central Missouri, who is 3rd in the MIAA standings. The March for October continues in professional baseball, and the American League will be represented by a Texas team. The Texas Rangers squared off against their rivals, Houston Astros, in a showdown for a World Series title on the line. Going into last night's game, the Rangers have not dropped a game, winning 5 in a row against Tampa and the first-place Baltimore Orioles. But in last night's game, the Rangers shut out the Stros 2-0 with Leody Taveras going yard off of Justin Verlander, while Jordan Montgomery pitched for 6 1/3 innings while having 6 strikeouts and only giving up 5 hits. The Rangers and Astros are set to play today at 3:37. Finally, Sunday Night Football put the state of New York on full display as the 1-4 Giants and the 3-2 Bills battled at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo. The Giants had the early lead with 2 field goals and keeping the Bills away from the scoreboard, but the Bills' offense finally woke up in the 4th, making it a game at 14-9. But the game wouldn't come without controversy, as the final play of the game would have been a penalty for holding, as Darren Waller was trying to reach for the ball but couldn't come down with it, and the Bills came back in dramatic fashion, winning 14-9. That's all the time we have for today's sports. Until next time, stay up to date with Fort Hays Athletics on TigerMediaNet.com. When we come back, Kerrigan has campus news.
Transfer to Fort Hays State University, you discover unmatched affordability, convenience, and powerfully supportive faculty and staff, all with a determination that matches yours. Complete your degree and leap forward in your life and career with Fort Hays State University Online, the best value in education anywhere.
Tiger Media Network is the student convergent media lab hub for Fort Hays State. We live broadcast all of Fort Hays' home athletic events.
Our program is a hands-on program where we give kids ample opportunity to do anything from writing stories to audio and video projects to sports productions to newscast. The sky's the limit. We tell the students whatever they can think of or dream of, we'll find a way to try to pull it off to give them that experience.
I am a junior at Fort Hays State University, and I'm a photography major. So I've done cameras, I've done tech directing, video board, a little bit of directing. I really enjoy being able to have an eye for that. It's something I've really enjoyed learning about through my 3 years here with photography. To me, photography and even just video and broadcasting kind of go hand in hand.
The future is with the kids, and the new tech gear that we have fits great into our educational model of a great learning environment for the students.
I really like the TriCaster. I like how you can make it as simple as you want, or you can go as complex as you need it to be. You know, you can pretty much do whatever you want with it.
It's a good experience. It teaches you how to work as a team, how to kind of lead things on your own.
Well, we wanted something when it came to giving our students opportunity that was going to be easy to use and applicable in a lot of different scenarios. And that's what we felt like with TriCaster and New Tech really offer.
You get a really good experience, and it's something you could easily get into.
When we pull off a great production, or they provide a great replay angle for a referee in a crucial instant, that makes you proud.
Once you start working with the TriCaster, you can really understand exactly what's going on behind the scenes.
And now it's my favorite thing to do.
Welcome back. Students, faculty, and community members braved the cold on Saturday morning for the second annual Serena Sunflower 2K and 5K race. Here's a look from the event from TMN reporter Kyson Evans.
Serena Blasky was a student in teacher education, and she tragically passed away shortly before her 22nd birthday. And so we organized this event as a memorial. So her parents start the scholarship.
There's a scholarship in her name.
In her name.
It was started by her parents. So every year this funds the scholarship.
Yep. As many as we could fund. I believe last year it was one person. He was a football player who was not on the scholarship, and I think Ken said it was $1,000 we were able to give last year. So hopefully as this continues, we can help more students. This year we added the 2K. So last year it was just a 5K run walk. This year we did a 5K and a 2K. So that way we're hoping to encourage maybe if people want to, have their kids do it, a little bit shorter distance.
Yeah, we would like to grow it every year. So yeah, all the positive word that you can get out would be awesome.
Yeah, and along the route there are signs that just tell a little bit about Serena's life here when she was on campus.
Thank you, Kyson. Last Tuesday was National Coming Out Day. To celebrate the event, the Gender and Sexuality Alliance set up a booth outside the Memorial Union for students and faculty alike to take pictures in front of a rainbow-decorated door. I spoke to GSA Treasurer Teely Brunson-Williams, who explained that the door is supposed to signify the act of coming out of the closet or coming out to others with their sexuality or gender identity. To learn more about this, visit tigermedianet.com. Last week, we gave a brief report on WellTiges, an initiative to improve overall wellness for faculty and staff. Here's a more in-depth look at what resources provide. October is Mental Health Awareness Month, and for a new organization on campus, that means big emphasis on bringing the community around an important issue. WellTiges is a new wellness initiative for all Fort Hays faculty and staff. Started last year thanks to an Innovation in Entrepreneurship grant acquired by the Health and Human Performance Program. WellTiges has its goals set to bring better lifestyle choices to the Fort Hays community. In an email sent out to staff earlier this month, WellTiges promote themselves as a campus-wide wellness initiative that will encourage you to build your own wellness path through a habits-based approach. In learning more about what all this entails, I talked to Assistant Professor and member of the WellTiges Steering Committee, Emily Washburn. Here's what she had to say about the initiative.
So I think, really the kind of the mission of Well Tigers is to provide a starting place in some cases for people, especially just our faculty staff. We kind of wanted to keep that separate from our students just because there's so many times that we are all intermingled. It's a way for some people to have a starting place on maybe ways that they do want to improve their wellness. And so we'll look at bringing in different aspects of the physical side of wellness, the mental side, financial and social sides of wellness, and really try to focus in our programming to enhance that and to value it for our campus. It is important for our faculty and staff and students to have wellness resources, mainly because that is how we function, is how when we're well and things are kind of aligning well within those dimensions of wellness for us. That is how we want to operate. That is how we meet the demands of our everyday.
Mental health is a big target for their events this month, as it is an increasing prevalent issue. In a recent survey by Academic Matters, 2/3 of academics reported experiencing mental health issues such as anxiety, psychological distress, depression, and burnout at some point in their career. In that same survey, respondents overwhelmingly cited heavy workloads to be a key source of work-related stress. This is what Emily had to say about stress in the workplace.
Our stressors and the way that we perceive, our stress is normally a negative connotation. It's normally maybe even a icky or hurtful or painful type of stress or a heavy stress. And that's normally, what people deal with when they do encounter stress on certain levels. And so that can be a quick stress, or it can be something that's more of a chronic stress. So we wanted to try to give people some tools within that presentation to start shifting their mindset and explaining what that meant. How do you change your mindset? What is your mindset? What are ways that you can take that perception of a negative connotation towards stress and slowly shift that into making stress work for you?
Emily hopes that faculty and students alike use Well Tigers to better themselves in their personal and professional lives. Staff can fill out a Google form sent to their Outlook account to sign up. And for any additional questions, you can reach out to the Well Tigers email, welltigers@fhsu.edu. For Tiger Media Network, this is Kerrigan Hutton. On Thursday, Fort Hays welcomed a furry friend to campus. Karen the Comfort Dog was in the Union taking pictures with students and receiving many pets. A resident of Ellsworth, Kansas, this is not Karen's first trip to Fort Hays. Over the years, Karen has stopped by on several occasions to bring comfort and joy to students, and we hope to see her again soon. Tuesday evening, the Astronomy Club hosted an observation night on the Tamanic Observation Deck as part of Space Week. TMN reporter Alicia Firehurm spoke with observation deck worker Hunter Carpenter to learn more.
The Fort Hays Makerspace celebrated Space Week last week. As part of the Space Week festivities, the Astronomy Club hosted an observation night on the Tamanic Observation Deck.
I work on the observation deck for the physics department. Essentially, for the Space Week, we had a night where we were able to observe some stars. We set up the large telescope that we have, and we just got to look around in space, look at Jupiter, Saturn, some other astrological bodies. We got to see Andromeda a little later in the night as well. Just kind of looking around at space and stuff. It's pretty cool.
The Astronomy Club will host several more observation nights throughout the semester, and Carpenter encourages all to attend.
Space is cool, and I think it's really fun to learn about space and kind of stuff outside of our planet. I think it's a fascinating experience to be able to see Saturn with your own eyes through a telescope, to see Jupiter with your own eyes, and definitely an educational experience as well. It's great to learn about space. It's great to learn about what's beyond our atmosphere and how the universe works. It's such a fascinating process. Also, just cool to hang out, I guess, if you want to come and hang out.
For Tiger Media Network, I'm Alicia Firehurm.
Thank you, Alicia. Have you ever wondered what homecoming was like for a member of the marching band? Well, TMN reporter and band member Noah Parker offers a unique perspective.
So on homecoming, the Tiger Marching Band starts with a 9 a.m. game day rehearsal in Lewis Field.
All right, let's get into warm-up art. Warm-up art. If we can get the homecoming fanfare in, that's a reminder to
And then we get into our cars and drive to the start and finish of the homecoming parade, and we do a parade down Main Street of Hayes.
I shouldn't say anything, but they didn't say I couldn't play it.
FHSU!
Then we get together around 5:30 for a warm-up before the game, and that happens in front of Tamanic Hall. And then we start our march over towards the stadium at 6 o'clock, and then we play for the tailgate fans and tailgate. And then our pregame show starts just before the game time at 7 o'clock.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, entering the stadium is your Fort Hays State University Tiger Marching Band. Standing tall on the western
And we play during all the quarters of the football game. And then our halftime show.
Let's go! Dancing Queen.
Afterwards, we do a special post-game show where we do an extra tune for the fans and we sing the song for Fort Hays. Get together on the Tiger and we play a tune called Snake Pit that is a tradition of the band before we get dismissed from the Tiger. It's a long day, but a very rewarding one for the Tiger Marching Band.
FHSU!
And that is a wrap on today's TMNtv News. To stay up to date with local, state, national, and international news, visit tigermedianet.com as well as our social media pages. Thank you for watching. I'm Kerrigan Hutton, and we'll see you next time.